Alright guys, this is Dog with another Minecraft video, and today I thought I want to show you a fun little contraption I thought about lately when I was doing a lot of research with the iron golem farms and stuff. So yeah, typical situation here, right? Nighttime, village get raided, no iron golem to be seen. So wouldn't it be cool if the player could literally press a button and spawn in an iron golem on demand? And maybe we have such a button here. Panic button, so let's press it, look around, maybe fly up a bit. Oh yeah, behind us there, golem spawned. We didn't catch a spawning, I'll show you again later. But yeah, this is actually doable in survival Minecraft. There's no command blocks or anything like that. You can literally press a button and spawn in a defensive iron golem, or many if you want. Just depends on expanding the setup. Yeah, as you like. That's pretty cool. So this guy is doing a pretty good job fighting this horde of zombies. But yeah, eventually he'll go down, and yeah, we would be on our own again. But this setup, of course, is able to spawn in more zombies. So after 35 seconds of a cooldown, we could press the button again. So yeah, let's hope everything works properly, because yeah, the spawning conditions, the way I set it up, is sometimes not ideal. So let's press the button. Float up here a little bit. You might have to press it again if the spawn attempt failed on the first try. So yeah, let's press it again. See, yep, there we go. This time it worked. Yeah, I think we were not past the 35 seconds yet. So we have a cooldown of about roughly 35 to 40 seconds between the spawning cycles of these zombies. But as you could see, just pressing the button and it literally spawned in front of our eyes. Alright, so now, if we look over here, we have a typical situation that would encourage zombie spawning or golem spawning. There's some villagers, and they're able to sleep because they have beds, they're able to work because they have workstations, and they are chilling. They're not under distress. So if we'd exposed him to a scary thing though now, they should be able to spawn an iron golem around them relatively quickly. And yeah, there we go. You saw on top here they spawned an iron golem. So obviously that's the principle. It can be used for iron farming. And I thought, yeah, what's a cool idea to do as well with it? And I thought this, yeah, iron golem on demand spawning is pretty cool. Obviously here, you know, we don't have ideal spawning conditions. Like here, this is all blocked. He could not really spawn here, you know. And also the spawning is a bit prevented, like on these pass blocks and so on. So this is not an ideal place to build a thing like that, but I think enough time passed by. Let's see if it works again if we press now. Yeah, spawn checks are performed, and yep, it worked. So there we saw it. Iron golem on demand. Let's look at the setup downstairs a little bit. It's quite simple. So yeah, let's dig through here. And yeah, then we can look at it. So here we have the exact same setup. I showed you upstairs we have 3 villagers, and they are working together, and they have the composters and their beds and so on. And then just a redstone wire coming down. We're using observers and a little pulse extender going into this redstone torch. And behind here we have a named zombie. And as long as, you know, when we press the button, this trapdoor will open because torch goes off, and that will scare them. And now they're unscared again, you know, going back to their normal work business. You can hear they've been working or whatever they've been doing. And yeah, by the press of a button, we expose them to the zombie, and that's how we spawn in a zombie on demand. And I would say I give you a little block by block tutorial for a setup like that, and yeah, then you should be able to build it easy peasy. So let's do this real quick. Alright, we would start out with a hole like that. That is a 3 by 5, and you would go down 6 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? It's kind of important that you stick with these numbers, because yeah, there's certain distances where golems can spawn and so on. And yeah, this design here kind of takes care of that. So what you want to do then, if you're 6 blocks down, is place your workstations here. You can have some trapdoors on top of that, just to make sure the villagers do no derpy stuff. Not necessarily need it 100%, but you know, just put him there. And a trapdoor below, just like that, so it's flush with the ground here. And then you just go ahead and place the 3 beds, another trapdoor, and then you just make sure, like if you imagine the villagers stand in here, so somewhere up there, you want to have this trapdoor facing down a little bit. You know, that kind of helps them to know where they belong. So yeah, what you want to do next is then dig 2 more blocks down, because it's important to have yeah, the villager beds kind of floaty and isolated like that. And you would also want to dig below everything here. And yeah, then take out another row and replace these with normal half slabs. That will prevent, you know, golem spawning down in this hole here, because yeah, that's for sure not something you don't want. And yeah, your end result should for now look like that, to give you another little bit of orientation, just to be sure. So here's the beds, 1, 2, 5, up to the surface. All right. So that is, you know, the maximum depth you can go. Ideally, we would want to go deeper, because if other villagers run around here a lot, they might sometimes be counted to this pack down there and disturb the spawning a little bit. But yeah, that's what we get. So yeah, now let's do the zombie bit and a very, very simple redstone bit. So for our zombie, we just go, you know, 1 block out. So we have a little bit of a wall to work with. Dig down a few blocks, and then we just come in here and imagine, okay, our villagers will be standing right there. So yeah, it would be good if our zombie face would be right there, and that's how we get the position for our zombie. And on the inside, just want to go ahead and place a trapdoor facing this way, facing outwards, and break this block out here. And this is where our redstone will sit to control stuff. So now dig out a little bit to the sides here, just a tiny bit, and you need to fill it in later. Fill everything in as I do, because otherwise some golems could spawn down here, and yeah, that is not what you want. So what you want to do is have a full block here. Let me quickly get some redstone dust. We need a little bit for that. Slap 1 down there, and now you also want comparators, because we need to build a little bit of a pulse extender here. And yeah, ideally you want to come back here, right, and go in here. And you should probably, if the spawning conditions are a bit worse, like I had it over there in the village, right, where some of the spawning was blocked, you might want to add a little bit of more delay for a really clean spawning. If there's a nice halfway flat area on top, this should be enough time. This gives you roughly like 6 seconds, but you know, within 10 seconds they do their attempts. So yeah, if you add a little bit more delay, that puts you on the safe side here, and you know, doesn't make the thing more expensive. And as you can only spawn them every 35 seconds, this will also not cut into, you know, spawning numbers or anything you could do. So yeah, you just cover it up like that. And now, depending wherever you want to have your panic button, I mean, you know, in my case it was just back here, so you would look where you add, okay, over here. So you somehow need to transfer the wire to this. So what I did, I don't know, I just had, in this case, there was this block that was there from the village already. And then what I did is I just threw in a few observers like this coming down, because they fill out the area nicely and massively. So, you know, it's nicely filled in, and no golem could potentially spawn. And this way, you know, you could get the signal down. And what you want to do down here is obviously bring it over to your pulse lengthener. So from here you need a bit of a repeater, otherwise the signal would be too short that comes in from your observer tower here. And then you just wire it into the thing, right? Connect it and make sure to nicely fill in everything again if you go out. And yeah, now if you press the button here, what we should see is the trapdoor being opened, right? We get the double pulse, but that is not a problem. And staying open for quite some time, and then it will close again, right? And that is the effect we want for the zombie. And now, when you're done with that, it's pretty much time to get your mobs in. So lure a zombie into that hole here, right? And obviously if you do it during daytime, have a block on top, so it might burn if you don't do that. And yeah, when you're in here, of course we want to make sure the guy can't get out, you know, have our zombie then in there, rename it, and then close it off again, so zombie is in there. So the scaring mechanics work. We can press and see, zombie now gets a line of sight and he will spook villagers. Yeah, and then of course, yeah, you want to get your villagers in here, and yeah, you would get some from the village, you know, use minecarts most likely to move him about. Let's get a villager spawning egg though for us here in yeah, in creative mode we can of course do that. But yeah, you know, just you would have a little shaft here or whatever like this around, and then you would drop the villagers in. Then they would sit on the trapdoor here. You do this, boom, drop them in further, and as soon as they're here in this hole, they cannot get out anymore. You know, and then you could remove all of that again. And yeah, so let's throw our villagers in. Right, we carted them in, and then you would see quickly those guys should pick up the professions that are around them. At the moment, yep. Here we go. As you see, now they picked all the job sites. Now the thing would not be ready to spawn yet, as you know, a requirement for them to spawn is that they slept as well. So you would have to wait one night. Whoops. And as you can hear, they are working. So I think the working is done. They do that between times 2000 and 9000, and then you just, you know, you would wait until nighttime, and in nighttime this would happen. The villagers would all kind of jump into their beds, and yeah, during daytime then, so let's go to day, they would all jump out again and go back into their position. Right, that makes sure they don't free roam and do weird stuff. And now technically they should have slept and worked. So yeah, what you want to do now is, of course, you know, fill everything in here. Let me see. Now you should stay above this trapdoor. So something like that. You know, fill that all in. And then now if we press the button, we should technically be able to spawn in a golem already. So we have fairly decent spawning conditions here, so hopefully we did everything right now, and if we press, it should happen. And if we didn't go too deep, expose them a little bit, and yep, there we go. Iron Golem spawned. They will roughly, yeah, as I said, spawn in like a 16 block area here around where you have your contraption. And yeah, that's how you do it. That's the Iron Golem on demand. I think that's a fun little contraption everybody can build, even if you are against Iron Golem farming or so. I know, you know, not everybody thinks it's a good idea. A lot of people like the mining as well, but I think this is a fun little thing and a fun way to play with the mechanics. Iron Golem on demand. Let's see if this one is ready to spawn as well. I mean, there's one roaming over there. Let's see. Yeah, it worked. So yeah, really nice. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions, let me know. Just make sure to follow it really block by block, because yeah, you gotta really block these spaces and so on to make sure to have the golem spawn at the right spots, right? So yeah, thanks for watching. I see you very soon. Bye guys.